Hello everyone, welcome to Spy Money. What a day. Actually the last couple of days has just been crazy. We've had this big old drop, then we had a little pullback. It's more of a bear flag the way it worked out, and then we had another one, and then we consolidated most of the well, actually yesterday evening and last night, early this morning, and then we dropped again. So what does all this mean? It means if you're in calls, you lost a lot of money. If you're in puts, it depends on where you bought them, because of all of this consolidation that we had here, and this right here was not great on puts at all. Most of this is overnight stuff as far as the drops, and that's why it's important to be in futures, because that's when everything is happening. The end of the day on Tuesday, we had that big drop at the end of the day, and then we ended up kind of just barely climbing up. Then we ended up dropping off again. This would be in the morning, so we had that drop there in the morning, and then we consolidated the rest of the time. Matter of fact, through the night, we kind of did that, and then right before opening, it dropped again, and then by about 10 o'clock this morning, it started taking off. Now, if you were in calls, if you bought calls right here, you did real well today, because it was a good consistent up pattern. But if you were trying to scalp through here, scalp futures, this was a very hard day. Miserable actually. These swings that they had on it, so we go back to like the 5-minute chart. The swings, we call it whipsaw, but look at this. That is so hard to scalp. Because the candles are they're all over the place. So trying to get in there and get in there, if you would have just bought down here and held it all day, you'd have been better off than if you tried to scalp through there. As far as scalping, I like to actually buy and hold long. That's what I like to do. But in something like this, you can't do that because it's so up and down, it's hard. So it depends on what kind of trader you are. That's just not really the kind of trading I like to do. You had a couple runs right here, but these candles were, some of these were 15-point candles, and when you're trying to scalp that and you got a 15 1-minute candle, it's hard to get your entry in and hold it. So looking back on it, this looks like a beautiful day. Wherever your target is, you get in right here and you just hold it and keep on going. But it's not that simple when you're actually trading it. When you're trading it, it kind of gets to you. If you get a little stressed about it, sometimes you lose a couple trades. Sometimes you're better off just to walk away from it. So that's kind of what I did today. I was having trouble in the morning trying to get my mojo going and stuff, and then I just ended up walking away. So I took off most of the day. That's the reason I'm late tonight on the market recap, is because I had some other things to do. So I took off and did all those, so we'll get our market recap done. So where does this mean for ES? Where are we going? We had this symmetrical triangle, but we dropped out of it. Now we come up. Are we going to test this and then come back up? Right now the market's not even really moving much, so this is just a beat down for a lot of people. All of this, trying to get into ES and do all this with all these whipsaws in there is just it's been difficult. A lot of movement here. It's hard to do your options as well. If you can time it right and try to get in, say Monday morning, and bought calls and be able to sell them toward the end of the day on Tuesday, you might have been fine. But with this big old drop, it kind of makes you wonder, is this going to be a little pullback? And by the time you realize it's not a pullback, the day's over and you can't get in your option. So it's just been a hard week to trade. We've had a lot of news come out, a lot of negative news, but when you look at the symmetrical triangle, it actually lines up with this right here. So we start dropping. I thought that we were going to bounce right here and then come right back up. So that was my plays to do that. And then we get right up here and then we just drop out of nowhere. So when it started dropping, we come down, we started hitting this trend, the triangle, and I thought, well, we're just going to double bottom it and then take off, and that thing just kept selling off and just kept coming up, and I thought, well, maybe we are starting the bear market that I've been talking about forever. But I'm just not real sure where it's going to go. I know that a lot of people were thinking that we were going to get around 3,000. I had it lined out where I thought we would actually hit 3,010, and I thought we would hit it either Monday or Tuesday, and here it is Thursday, and we've just sold off. So no one knows but the whoever's controlling the candles, and you know, I've got a little story behind that, but we won't get into that. It's a lot of manipulation in the games and stuff. And maybe I'll make a video on it sometime, what I think, you know, how I think that all this is done. I might do that. It actually makes sense of what I've said the last, actually I've been saying it for a while, but I've really been talking about it this week, and I think I'll make a video on it sometime. I won't do it on this recap. But where are we going now? Your guess is as good as mine on this one. I didn't think that we would come down in here. I thought we would stay in this pattern and go. And so we need to, I guess, just look at this and see what we're actually doing. Get some charting skills out there, and you know. But now, one thing about this was 2 points that we were hitting, so I wasn't real sure about that anyway. But coming right here. I mean, our support is coming from back here all the way over, and we hit it. So if we went ahead and come back in, and let's see, right there's where we hit, but the support is actually a little bit higher or lower than that. So if we come back in, let's see here. So that's touching it right there. We come back over here. That's pretty good right there. The way that candle hit, these two dropped a little bit below. I would have liked to have picked up these right here, but that's still. I mean, you can see that the support and resistance lines on these candles right here, the way it's touching through there. I mean, that's pretty good support. Usually a support will do a lot better than that. So now this line we're going to remove because it did nothing. It looked like a symmetrical triangle, and it wasn't. So this top one, we could actually be making the same thing that gold's doing right now, and that is a descending triangle. So let me open this up a little more so I can get in here just a little bit further. So we could take this one, and long term, I don't think it'll actually play out this way, but who knows, it might. That would be putting it out into the middle of June, coming out through here. Now, one thing about this is we've only got, if I brought it down, I could actually touch that one there. So if I brought this back down right there, actually let's put this on a 4 hour, and that'll get us where we need to be. So on this 4 hour, about right here. Okay, so what we did was we found the tops of these candles. So we've got 3 candles that it's actually hitting, and 3 candles is good. So let me come back and adjust this one a little bit more. If we got 3 candles touching, then I feel pretty confident that that is a trend. 2, I'm not confident. And like when we drew this symmetrical triangle, I even noted that we had 2 bottoms that were touching, so I wasn't real sure about it. And then when this actually broke through it, then that did it. Right now we've got the 200 coming up, with having the 200 coming up, and this candle miraculously come down and just touch that and the support at the same time. Our MACD is showing that it's coming up now. RSI is starting to come up. Of course, you know, we had a great day today. So looking at the chart now, it looks like we have a horizontal bottom. I'm not real happy with that one, but for now, I will use that until it proves me otherwise. If this goes on up and goes through that, then we'll have to delete this top trend line. Now we've got the 2 touches here, and we've got that one, so we'll have to see where it's going to go from here. So we're looking at probably not getting over, I'll say probably the 29-30 range at the most, I'd say. And that's going to be over, I mean, this was one day drop right here and back. So we went up, let's see, 28.52, 20, so roughly 100 points right there that we went up today. So, you know, go from here, 28.51 to, so we could easily do that in one day. And so we might get a rally tomorrow, but I doubt it. Friday's usually a sell-off day. So I would expect probably some red tomorrow. We did come up on this 4 hour. We're looking at the 8 coming down through here. We're actually treading on top of it, or trending on top of it, but we still haven't hit our 50. And if we go back to a 1 hour, look at that. We actually crossed over the 20. But you know, I just don't. I don't think this is going to keep going. It might, but I doubt it. I'd say that we'll probably end up. By looking at it, it looks like we're actually going to be maybe selling off again tonight, or maybe just kind of consolidating over, and then maybe a little drop. It might go up a little bit tomorrow, but Fridays usually there's not much going on. There's not a lot of volume on Fridays typically. So with this right here, a lot of people made money there, and a lot of people made money here. I did very well right here. I did not do good on this day because I was expecting a Fed pump yesterday, and we didn't really get what I thought we would. So that was the 9th. So right here is where we dropped on Wednesday morning, and I was thinking that it was going to, the Feds were coming in going to pump it up, but they never did, and it kept on dropping. So then today I thought, well, I don't know what it's going to do, and it just really it was a lot of chop overnight. We had it drop right here, and then coming up, I mean, look at these candles. This is the 1 hour. Look how big these candles are. And then if you go to a 15-minute chart, 15, look at this. I mean, that is just, for a very good scalper, it's their dream. But when it's ES, and it will just, you'll get in, and then as soon as you get in, it'll go up, you know, just a little bit, and then it will drop 10 points. So it'll stop you out real hard. So it's really hard to scalp for me in this. Some people get in this and they're just in heaven the way this works, but not me. I like something that's got more of a steady candles like these. I can trade those real easy, get in, get out, and just keep on scalping it all the way down. But this right here is just very difficult, because as soon as you think that it's going to start coming down, it'll just take off on you. So it's very difficult. So for the people that are just trying to learn how to do the future scalps and things, if you lost money on it, don't beat yourself down. It is just it's trial and error. Some of these futures are a lot easier to trade, but they move slow, like NG. NG is a lot easier to trade, but it just goes really slow. So we're going to look at SPY. SPY is, you know, the same conversation I just had. SPY is the exact same candles. So you're looking with SPY is going to be basically the same thing. So we're going to take this one out because that is no longer in, and then we're going to back up to the 4 hour. Let's see here. We are going to bring in another price level, which was actually right there. It's where that came down. Now on SPY, the chart actually looks better. So you've got good support there, a little bit right here, and then, I'm sorry, right here. You got support there, you got good support there, and then you hit it perfect right there. So SPY actually charts out better than what ES does on that particular drop. So let's take these right here out. Don't need those in there. It's just extra lines we don't need right now. We're not playing those lines anymore. So with this one, we are looking to chart this out over here. And again, this may not be the pattern it plays, but it's looking like it might actually play that out. So SPY dropped way down, just a big old long wick on that drop, and that's a 4 hour. So if we go back to the 1 hour and look at it, see, it's big old long drop, but it's momentarily just a wick pretty much. So ES didn't show it that way, but SPY did. ES is a lot more accurate in its charting. So as far as SPY, the way it's looking, the same as the ES, it looks like it's curling back. This may shoot up though. Wouldn't shock me that if it went up and hit this trend tomorrow, and when it hit it, which would be the 293 area on SPY, so we could easily hit that tomorrow, and then if we do, then it could come down. But the thing about it, tomorrow's Friday. We usually don't get any kind of a raise or anything like that on Friday. It'll usually just kind of consolidate out, sometimes sell off a little bit. So be careful on SPY if you're in any kind of calls or anything like that. If you're in calls, I would have got out at the end of the day. I wouldn't have swung those. So let's go back to gold. Gold actually took off pretty good today, and I don't know why I had that in there. But gold took off. It actually broke the ascending wedge, descending wedge, not ascending, but descending wedge, because we had this here. So this is no longer in play. It looked like gold was going to come up, hit this, and just bounce down. This is a bearish sign. And like I was saying before, just because it's a bearish pattern doesn't mean it will be bearish. It just means that it's in this pattern and it could go either way. Sometimes it will jump out of this and then just come right down. So I'm going to leave this one up there for now, and let's see here. Take this one out because we don't need that. So I'm going to leave that in there for now, and it actually went up and hit this fib, the 1743. It hit the fib and then bounced right out. So with it hitting that, we could easily sell off, but the way the market's been selling off, gold should be real high right now, but it's not. So gold is, I mean, with it hitting that fib, and it looks like it just went up again, it's starting to climb. So we may break through that tonight. Go back to a 5-minute. See, it's going up now. So if you're a futures trader, right now would be a good time to get into gold and scalp this up until that fib. So you can see there that it would come up, it bounced a little above it, but it just kept coming back down. But it looks like gold is trying to take off right now. So that would be a pretty good one for you to get in. I'm not trading anymore tonight. I'm tired. I'm gonna take. I'm probably gonna pop a Netflix on, and I'm probably gonna watch movies, eat ice cream, and just get fat. I think that's what I'm gonna do tonight. Movies, ice cream, and fat. That all sounds good to me. So this morning gold really took off. That was a good play. You could have easily made money in that. I missed it. I was focused on something else and missed that whole trade. So it wasn't good for me. And then we go to NG. NG is actually going up. I thought that on, let's see, today, I bought it right here. I thought NG would probably sell off all night, hit the bottom, and then jump right up. So I got in calls right here because I didn't want to miss the play. But it ended up selling off more and just kept on selling off and come down. Now it's just been playing around here. So it actually hit where I thought it was going to hit. Actually 2 points less. I said 163. It actually went down to the 161 there. Down here was actually 159. So it actually went a little further. But this is the support line that's been going on for quite a while now. Several weeks. Months actually. And so it come down, hit this, and I've got calls in it. This should continue to go up. I don't know what's going on with it, but the and that's actually inverted head and shoulders. Right here's your shoulder. Let me blow it up. Here's your shoulder. Right here's your head, and it's building that shoulder now, so it should just take right off. NG moves all the time. It doesn't matter what ES is doing. It has its own way of thinking. When I loaded up the toss tonight, they had a message that popped up and said that they were not allowing you to buy any more June natural gas calls or puts because, or even contracts. They didn't want you buying anymore. They would only let you sell them. I don't have June ones, which expire tomorrow. I don't have those. I made money on those. I sold those. I wish I hadn't have sold them already, but I sold those on right through here somewhere. That's where I sold them. But I wasn't sure what was going to happen with it. I wish I'd have held them because I'd have made a lot more money. But you know, I still made money. I can't. You can't go wrong taking profit. $5 or $1,000 is profit. But I believe that natural gas will end up taking off. They've got to. I've never had that on natural gas before, but when they put that out and said you can't buy anymore, so there must be something to do with margins and so forth. Because I guess they got hung up on the crude oil. So crude oil has really shook up the market for how the brokerages are reacting to it. But as far as this one, I think let me go back to a 1 hour. I think we'll probably end up coming back up here. That is a ascending broadening wedge pattern. It's skinny here, wide there. That is a sign of a bearish, but with natural gas, the way it's been selling off and the way it's been moving and stuff, I think that it'll actually probably going up. It may continue to sell off though. But with that head and shoulders pattern right there, if in fact that actually plays out, because it has to play it out, but you've got your shoulder here, your head, and right here is forming the other shoulder. So it might sell off a little bit here and then come up, and probably on Sunday it'll probably spike up. So my calls are on July, so I've got plenty of time, but I'd like to, for this to spike up. There are 2.2 calls, that's what I've got in July, financial side. And it can easily hit this in one day. Just to show you, right here, that's 1 day right there. Boom. Went up and hit it. So that can easily hit that in 1 day. 1 day would be right here. So just a little extra, it could easily do that. But if it would go up there, that would be some serious money for me. I'd like to see that. The last one is NQ. I traded NQ Tuesday, and I kind of like the way it moved. I don't know. I'm going to start studying it more, but I'm going to see if it's got more or less whipsaw than what ES does. I need to start looking at that because ES is just so hard to trade for me. So I'm going to look at that. I'm also looking at some agriculture stocks. I've talked to a few people that are trading ag stocks, and if you know of any that you like or any futures trading whatsoever, put them in the comments. Let me know, what you trade. There's some people that said they trade the Russell. It's like a 200 small cap stocks, I think it is. So they're trading that, and I'm gonna start looking at some different ones. I like to get into something that's got less whipsaw and it's got more of a constant pattern. That's just much easier for me to trade. I can get in it, kind of let it run during the day, and sell it toward the end of the day. Just put a good trailing stop on it and let it go. I don't like to sit behind a computer all the time and watch this and trade. I like to set something, get a trailing stop on it, and just kind of let it run, either go up or down. That's the kind of trading I like to do. Kind of lazy trading. So it's easier. That's one thing about options. It's lazy trading, but you've got to pick the right direction. If you pick the wrong direction, you're going to be hurt. So NQ looks to be about the same. It's almost a head and shoulders type pattern on this, where you have a shoulder and a head, but it's not really. I wouldn't classify it as head and shoulders. That's a 1 hour. Let's see what a 4 hour looks like. Not even close. And if we go back to a 15, nah, it's not it at all. Not even close. So, and as far as this line coming down through here, it's already broke through that. I'll show you that one. You can visualize it though. See, it broke right on through that. So we don't have any pattern there. And go back to a 4 hour, see what's showing up there. Just staying in this channel right here. It is doing that. We can raise that up a little. And then bring this one back here down. Right there. So just a little bit, and once you draw your pattern and it keeps on playing out, you just have to adjust your pattern to make sure you get the right trend lines in place. So on this one, it's staying within that trend. By looking at this, it's probably going to sell off, come down to the bottom channel, and then once it gets there, it'll probably come up. So we're probably looking, maybe this will sell off overnight and through tomorrow, and then or maybe even through Sunday, and then it will rally probably next week. That's a possibility. But it's hard to say. This is just a big old V here that it did. With having it like this, and then where's it going to go now? With the way that the media has played everything, this should have never happened here. We have had the worst economy whatsoever this year. Major unemployment, highest unemployment ever. No one working. Everybody looking for handouts and stuff, just trying to stay alive. And then the market rages. There's no call for that. So we have the Federal Reserve's been pumping a lot in here. Right now they're not pumping like they were. This right here was a huge pump, and they're giving credit to people that shouldn't be getting credit for it, but it is just nothing but Federal Reserve, which is the banks. There's 12 banks in the Federal Reserve. It is not the government. It's a private entity. So with the banks that are doing this, they want their profit back. So when you see these big old drops right here, that is the Federal Reserve pulling their money out, I'm sure. So when they pull their money out, then they've made money off of all this, and when they do, then they start pumping a little more, and they just scalp it. So the banks are actually scalping it. So I think I will make a video on how I believe the market is trading and who's controlling and all that. It's pretty interesting what my thoughts are on it. It's maybe conspiracy, maybe truth, maybe not. Maybe some people call me a nut job on it, but what I say makes perfect sense. And when you start putting it into play, then you'll understand it. So I think I will do a video maybe next week on that and just talk about it and let you take the information and use what you want with it. But I believe that I'm probably right. So another video. And then go back to ES. I usually finish up on ES, see what it's doing. Looks like it's trying to climb. That's on the 4 hours. Let's go to a 5 minute. It's still trying to climb. So right before the close, it actually hit the high 28.53, and this very well may continue to go on up. If we do, I'd say we're probably going to hit along through here. So I can run this down a little bit. That would be a double top, so that would put you back to 28.76. If we hit that, then more than likely we'll probably sell off. So we may go ahead and hit this tonight, which is only, what is that, 25 points. 25 points is nothing. It can do that in one candle. So we can run up to 25 points and then probably sell off all night, and then tomorrow it'll probably consolidate like it usually does during the day. So depending on if you're in calls, puts, if you're doing contracts, I quit swinging overnight. Other than I've got those natural gas calls I've got, I will sometimes do those if I see that it's hit a support and it's going to be going or whichever. But I try not to even swing any. I try to just buy, let it go up for a little bit, and then just take my profit. It seems to be a lot safer. I've lost a lot of money in swinging. When you swing stocks or options, you never know what tomorrow's going to be. You don't know what kind of direction the market is actually got for that. And they do know who's got the most calls and who's got the most puts, and they are controlling that. So we will see tomorrow, and I'll try to do that video over the weekend and post it on there. I need to get some facts and some pictures together to kind of show my theories and stuff, and then you can take it for whatever you want with it. But that'll take care of our market recap. I hope everybody made money today, and you can see right here this is just straight consolidation. That is horrible on options. That's horrible on it. So but anyway, I hope y'all made money, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Tomorrow day I am going to be gone quite a bit. I usually take off on Friday, do my grocery shopping and so forth. And I own a couple other businesses, so they need attention. So I'm going to put attention on those tomorrow. So you probably won't see me around much. And also, if you're not part of our Discord channel, click the link down below, Spy Money LLC, and check us out. I think you'll like it. There's a lot of people in there trading equity options. We're doing the futures as well, so several call outs on different things. Growing the channel. Seem to be pretty happy people in there. I like the group. I think the people we have in there are genuine. You get into some of these groups, and they got these huge paper trade accounts, and they're talking about making $20,000 today and stuff. But we don't have those people. We do have some people at paper trade, but they don't boast that they made the money themselves. We don't allow that. If you're paper trading and doing real well, we'd like to hear about it though, and see how you're doing. We've also got courses online at SpyMoneyLLC.com. You can learn about future options, future contracts. There's a scalping course on there. several other courses on it. I think there's 5 or 6 courses now. And hopefully this weekend I will have the charting course done, and once I have that done, then that's going to be a good one. I've got a lot of it done, and charting is not hard, but you've got to have an eye for it. Just like when we chart on, right in front of you, you watch me do it and try to pick out the candles, and I tell you what I'm doing. But I'm going to go into a lot more detail within the courses. That way you can actually chart yourself and look back further and what you're actually looking for and so forth. So it's going to be talking about the patterns. We're going to talk about what the patterns mean and how you actually pick those out without having to do a lot of work on it. So anyway, we will see you in the Discord channel. I'll probably be in there a little bit tonight, and I will see you guys tomorrow night. Have a good night.